right, everybody. Welcome to another Game of the Week. NBC Saturday Game of the Week. This one is dated May the 15th. It's in the American League. The Boston Red Sox travel to Royal Stadium, even though that says Kauffman Stadium. Royal Stadium for a Saturday afternoon tilt with the Kansas City Royals. Let's look at the starting pitchers for both teams. For the Kansas City Royals, Vida Blue gets the start in the actual game. He pulled a leg muscle at the end of the first inning and came out, only pitched one inning in the whole game, missed 2 weeks during the season. Don't know if I should pull him after one inning or just let him go. I think I'm just going to let him go because there's not a whole lot of bullpen arms for either team. So I think I'm going to let him go, but just an FYI, he did get hurt at the end of the first inning of that game. And Mike Torres is on the mound for the Red Sox. Let's look at the bench and bullpens for both teams so we know who you have available. First, for the visiting Red Sox, they have three left-handed hitters on the bench with Vida Blue, the lefty, on the mound. They have Wade Boggs, they have backup catcher Rich Gedman, and Carl Yastrzemski. One right-hander, Reed Nichols, and a switch hitter, Julio Valdez. That's the five players that are on the bench for the Red Sox. In the bullpen, they have two left-handers and three right-handers. Bruce Hurst and Tom Bergmeyer from the left side, Louis Aponte, Mark Clear, and Bob Stanley from the right side. That's who's available off the bench and bullpen for the Red Sox. For the Royals, let's look at their bench and bullpen. They have three left-handers on the bench. They have Tom Poquette, Jamie Quirk, and Cesar Geronimo. And then two right-handers, Onyx Concepcion and Lee May. That's the bench for the Royals. And the bullpen for the Royals, they have two lefties and two righties. Left-hander Buddy Black and left-hander Grant Jackson. Jim Wright, who's a computer card I had to print out, and he actually pitched 3 1/3 innings in this game in back of Vida Blue. And then, of course, the closer, Dan Quisenberry. So that's who's available off the bench and bullpens for both teams, so you know when I'm making my managerial decisions for both teams, why I went a certain way or why I didn't go with a certain guy. It could be because he was not on the roster. Okay, starting lineups. We'll go to the score sheet. And starting lineups for both teams. Let's make sure it's too far up here. Let's bring it down just a tad. There we go. Starting lineups for both teams. First, for the visiting Red Sox, at second base is Jerry Remy. Dwight Evans in right, Jim Rice in left, Tony Perez, the DH. Carney Lansford at third, Dave Stapleton at first, Glenn Hoffman, the shortstop, Gary Allenson, the catcher, and Rick Miller in center. For the Royals, Willie Wilson in left, John Wathen catching, George Brett at third, Willie Mays Aikens at first, Amos Otis in center, Hal McRae, the DH, Jerry Martin in right, Frank White at second, and Greg Pryor at short. All right, so on the 1982 season, Vida Blue was 13-12 with a 3.78 ERA and 31 saves. He has a fatigue rating of 6. And leading off for the Red Sox, it'll be second baseman Jerry Remy. Remy to lead it off. Lefty on lefty matchup to get us started. Red Sox with only two lefties in the lineup, and that's the number 1 and number 9 hitters, Remy and Miller, as they've given Carl Yastrzemski the day off. And also no Wade Boggs and no Rich Gedman, as they're starting the right-handed hitting catcher Allenson against the lefty Vida Blue. Ballpark effects. I don't know what the weather was on the actual day of the game, so I'm just going to call it average weather. And in that case, singles for both lefties and righties are 1-16, so a lot of singles can be had. Home runs a little weird because the ballpark is symmetrical, so you would think it would be the same for both. But the way they're rated by Strat, home runs for lefties are 1-11, where home runs for righties is only 1-2. So definitely favors the left-handed hitter in this one. So we are ready to go. Don't know in the rotation exactly when this is going to be presented. The game after this on May the 22nd. I have to look at the schedule. I'm pretty sure. Let's see what I do with my schedule. Of course, when I want my schedule, I can't find my schedule. Let me pull this out of the box here. Yeah, here we go. May the 22nd, the next game on schedule is Philadelphia at Atlanta. And like I said, I'm doing these on a Wednesday and a Saturday until I get caught up with the calendar date of 2021. So it's going to probably be the first 2 weeks of June when that happens. So not sure if it's going to post on a Saturday or post on a Wednesday. But the only 2 days I'm posting videos for now is Saturday at 2 o'clock and then Wednesday at roughly around noon. So we'll see if this posts on a Saturday or a Wednesday. I'm not sure. Like I said, the next game will be Philadelphia at Atlanta. All right, so Vita Blue ready to go. And despite the fact that he got injured at the end of the first inning, I'm going to leave him in there as long as he can go, or at least until the 6th. I might pull him after 6 regardless. So we're underway. 4-9 against Jerry Remy. That's a straight up single. Maybe Boston will just knock him out before you even have to worry about that. Remy will single. And for Remy, 2 through 6 will get him a jump, although Blue is a -3. Catcher Wathan's a -1 for a total of -4. So even if he gets a jump, it would be a total of a -6 here. That'd be a 1-9. So I think they're going to think better of it and just let Dwight Evans come to the plate. Remy will, of course, be held. We'll roll for a potential balk or pickoff. Nothing happening. Blue to Evans. 6-8, and that's trouble for Vita Blue. 1-13 is a double. That's a 2. It's a double for Dwight Evans, and Vita Blue getting roughed up here in the first. There are no stars on that, so potentially Remy could try to score. He was being held. He runs at a 14. He was being held, makes him a 13. The double is assumed to go to center, and the center fielder arm, AO, is a -2. So then you're looking at a 1 to an 11. So I think with nobody out, they're just going to hold Remy at third base. So runners are at first and second with nobody out, and just gets worse for Vita Blue because now Jim Rice comes to the plate. So Vita Blue might have to go out regardless whether he's injured or not. We'll roll for the balk or pass ball. Nothing happening. Infield is going to lay back. They need some outs. Jim Rice, 2-4 against a lefty. Oh, that's even worse. 1-15 is a home run. That's a 5. It's a 3-run bomb for Jim Rice. And I'll tell you what, it may not take an injury to get Vita Blue out of this game. He may get out of here early. Vita Blue is looking blue. A 3-run homer for Jim Rice, and the Red Sox nation is happy as the Sox lead 3-0 before the seats even get warm. People are still filing into Royal Stadium. Here's Tony Perez. He's the DH. That would normally be the spot for Yastrzemski, but with the lefty Blue on the mound, Ralph Houck decided to let Perez get a swing. Blue, 2-5 to Perez, struck him out. So first out of the inning for Vita Blue as he tries to regroup. And here's Carney Lansford, the third baseman. 6-7, and that's a ground ball. Second base X. Second baseman Frank White is a 1E20. Being a 1, we know he's going to get to it. The only question is the E20. And of course, one of the things I forgot to do when I started was to get the charts out. So seems like I always forget something. So worried about everything else. Okay, so E20 is what we're looking on. You know 1 he's going to get to it. So, oh, that's an 18. What a horrible roll for Frank White. That's just going from bad to worse for the Royals. 18, and he's an E20 as a second baseman. E20 as a second baseman, and he rolled an 18. E20 and 18. Actually, oh, it's a 1-base error. I thought it might have been a 2-base error. It's only a 1-base error, so I'd say only. That's an E4 as Frank White boots it. Boston won this game in real life 10-5, and they're kind of looking to head that way in the beginning early here. Carney Lansford will not try to get a jump. He will stay in pat. They will hold him on, so that means Blue will be doing the balk roll. Nothing's happening. Here's Stapleton. 4-3 against a right-hander. Ground ball third base X. That is George Brett. He's a 2E21. 2 and an 18. This might be a double play. 2 and an 18 is a G1. And so as long as there's no error, it'll be a double play. He's an E21, and that's an 11 for a third baseman. But as luck would have it, for a third baseman, E21 and 11 is right there in E1. So instead of a double play, it's yet another error. Instead of Blue being out of the inning, the inning continues with only 1 out, and that's the second error in a row by the Royals. And they did commit 2 errors in the game, but probably didn't do it in the first inning. But it's just a nightmarish start for Vida Blue. We might see Jim Wright early and often. Here's Glenn Hoffman. Oh, that wasn't Blue's fault. He should have been out of the inning. Here's Blue, 4-10 against a right-hander. That's a split chance. 1-12 is a single, 13-20 is a line out. That's a 19, so he lines it to short for out number 2. So he's out of there. And that brings up the number 8 hitter, Gary Allenson. 2 on, 2 out, 3 in. Here in the top of the first. Blue to Allenson. 1-5 for Allenson against the lefty. He flies to left, and that's going to end the inning. But 3 runs come in for the Red Sox. And they might be chasing Vida Blue early, despite the not being injured. He may be mentally injured after getting abused like that. All right, Mike Torres is your pitcher for the Red Sox. In 82, he was 9-9 with a 5.23 ERA and 31 starts. So after 4 really exciting Game of the Week games that went down to the wire, the last game, Montreal and LA, was kind of also ran. I mean, it was okay, but nothing fantastic about it. And this one's kind of heading that way unless we get some really good magic going on the rest of the game. We shall see. It's early. We're just at the bottom of the first, but so you never know how things are going to turn out. Here's Willie Wilson. That's a 3-5 for Willie Wilson, and he hits a leadoff single. So back come the Royals. Wilson will be looking to get the jump for sure. Torres is a +1 hold, and Allenson's a -1. So that's an aggregate -1 plus -2 for being held. Would make it a 15 if he got the jump. But they're going to try it 1 to 5. If he gets a 3 through 6, it'll be a 1 to 15 to steal it. It's a 4, so it's a 1 to 15 to steal second base. And he does. Stolen base for Willie Wilson. So down 3 does not deter the Royals from stealing. That's their game. They're going to play it. And as Motorhead sing, it's all about the game and how you play it. All right. John Wathan, the batter. Strat roll, nothing happening. Torres to Wathan. Wilson will be held at second base. Torres, 5-2 against the right-hander. It's ground ball first base X. That's Stapleton. He's a 2. 2E14 for Stapleton. If he fields it, then Wilson will just go to third, and he'll step on the bag to get Wathan. No chance to get a force play of any kind. 2E14, 2 and a 9 is good to go. E14 and a 12. Oh, how about that? Another error. E14 first baseman, a 12 is an error. So he looked up too fast and mishandled the ball. Error there on Stapleton. And how do you like this? Sloppy from the get-go for both teams now, and Wathan's a threat to steal. Runners on the corners, nobody out. Wathan looking to get the jump. He needs a 2 through 5, 11, or a 12. 9, he does not get the jump, so he will stand pat. He will be held. And that'll bring up George Brett. And back come the Royals just that quickly. Sox at double play depth. They'll give up the run to get 2 outs. 110, and they're not going to get anything on that. That's a 1-9 triple. That's a 1. George Brett has just tripled. A 2-run triple. And before the Sox can get it out, the Royals have 2 more runs on the board and threatening for a third. 2-run triple for Brett. It's 3-2 Boston with a runner at third and nobody out. And Torres now in deep trouble. Infield's going to come in. They want to cut off that tying run. Torres to Aiken, 6-7. And he's not going to do it anyway. 1-4 is a double. 5-20 is a single. That's a 10. It's an RBI single for Aikens. And Torres can't get anybody out. It's now tied at 3 apiece just that quickly. Aikens will not be held at first. But Torres needs to get an out. Nothing on the havoc. Here is Amos Otis. 2-4 for Amos Otis. And that's a ground ball third base save. That will help his cause. 5-4-3 double play. For 2 quick outs. And that brings up the DH, Hal McRae. Torres, 6-2. That's a walk. That will keep the inning going. McRae, no threat to run. He will be held, but he won't try to steal. And here's Jerry Martin. 5-8. 5-8. That's more trouble. 1-2 is a triple. 3-20 is a single. Single 2 stars, and that puts runners at the corners. And now the Royals are down to their number 8 hitter in this inning. That's Frank White. Martin will be held at first, but he won't try to steal. Nothing on the roll there. Here's Frank White. 3-7 for White. That's a ground ball back to Torres to end the inning, but Kansas City says anything Boston can do, we can do as well, and they both put up 3 runs here in the first. So both starting pitchers definitely on the shaky side, and with the limited the bullpen may get overtaxed here. We'll have to wait and see. This is not like 2021 where you have 12 bullpen guys or something. This is 1982, and you're looking at limited bullpen participation. Of course, the ones that are in there can go multiple innings, so I guess that kind of offsets that. All right, here's Rick Miller, and like I said, he would normally be out of the game in real life because he pulled a leg muscle, but I'm going to leave him in there. Rick Miller 4-5, and that's a fly to left. So a better start to the inning for Vida Blue. Here's Jerry Remy. 1-5, that's a walk. As soon as I say that, more base runners. Remy will be held, but he won't try to steal. Already calculated that he wouldn't get a good return on that, so he'll be held, but he won't try to steal. Here's Dwight Evans. 3-6 for Evans against the lefty. That's another walk. So all of a sudden, Vida Blue can't find the strike zone. 2 on, 1 out for Jim Rice, who hit a big 3-run homer his first time up. Blue 1-5, and that's another walk. He has walked. The base is loaded as Vida Blue. And this might be the time to get him out of here. We shall see. What do they want to do with this? You know what? We're going to pull Vida Blue. He just doesn't seem to have it, and I'm going to kind of halfway mimic the injury he had in the game. So he's coming out, and that means Jim Wright gets the long relief role. And he is a computer-generated card. I had to print his card because it wasn't carded by Strat. So on this card, for all the little @ signs, that means that's the tire roll like a dot. And the pound sign is a ballpark home run chance. Everything else, I think, is fairly reasonably set up there. All right, so I hope the card, let me check through the phone and make sure this card is showing up okay. Let's see here. Oh, yeah, it shows up on the phone better. It does straight up from me. I guess the phone gives a little bit of light. All right, so Jim Wright is on for Vida Blue. Vida Blue ends up pitching only 1 1 1/3 innings. And all 3 runners on base are his responsibility. Royals are playing for the double play. They want to get 2 outs. They'll give up a run to get 2 outs. Wright will roll for the potential balk or anything. Nothing happening. Right to Perez. 3-11 for Perez. That's a ballpark single, which is a 1-16, but that's a 20. So he will line it to short for out number 1. If he'd been facing Vida Blue, that'd have been a ballpark home run chance. He would have flown out to left. It would have been a sacrifice fly. But having Wright in there meant that it's a liner to short and nobody advanced. So 1 out. Here's Cardi Lansford. A double play gets him out of the inning. Lansford has a couple of ground ball A's on his card. But we're off Wright's card. 6-4. That's a ground ball shortstop X. Shortstop is Pryor. He's only a 4E42. That's problems. 4 and a 13 might be a fielder's choice. 4 and a 13. Actually, it's runner advance. A 7 and an E42. Assuming there's no error. There is no error, but it is runner advance. It's a ground ball to short. Actually, no, that's the last out. There were already 2 outs. My bad. I forgot about the fly out down here. So he made the play, and they get out of the inning. How about that? Trying to shortchange him there. All right, Red Sox fans, I'm not giving you 4 outs. You're only getting 3. All right, so we go to the bottom of the second, tied at 3. Torres, no prize himself his first time around. Have to do better here this inning if you want to stick around. 2-6, ground ball to third. Lansford is there, 1 away, so that's a good start. Here's Willie Wilson. 5-9, struck him out. He's not tired. So Torres seems to have found his groove. Here's Wathan. 1-3 for Wathan is a walk. 2-out walk. He will try to get a jump. He needs a 2 through 5, 11, or 12. 6, he can't get the jump, so he'll stay put. Here's George Brett. 3-7 for Brett is another walk. That's how Vita Blue got out of the game, was all these walks. So now 2 on, 2 out for Willie Mays Aikens. Nothing on the Havoc. Torres to Aikens. 6-8 against a lefty. It's a ground ball, second base X. That is Remy. He's a 3 E14. 3 to 19 will be good. 15 may be trouble. E14 and a 15. And yet another error on the Red Sox. 14 there, and that's a 15. So they have committed 2 errors, just the same as the Royals. It's only a 1-base error, so the bases will be loaded. But Remy boots it. And that will set up Amos Otis with the bases loaded and 2 down. Torres. Nothing happened on the Havoc. Torres to Otis. 3-4. And that's a fly to left, but it's a clutch. So since it's a clutch, that turns into a single 2 stars using the clutch rating. So that's a base hit for Amos Otis. A 2-run single in the clutch. He was a clutch hitter apparently, and at least that's what they rated him. So that's a 2-run single. It is now 5-3. Favor of the Royals. AO will not try to get a jump. He will be held, but he's not going to try to go anywhere. And now the bullpen for the Red Sox, Bruce Hurst is loosening, as they may need long relief. Al McRae, 1-8 for McRae. 1-13 is a single. That's an 11. That'll be a base hit. And that's going to be it for Torres. He can't go any further, as he is having so many issues. That's 1-8. That's a 1 star, so Otis only goes to second base. So neither Blue nor Torres can get out of the second inning. So we're going to have Bruce Hurst coming on. Bruce Hurst will be coming on to face Jerry Martin with 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. Neither starter had a chance in this one. They were just ambushed early. And Bruce Hurst, who was 3-7, 5.77 ERA, 19 starts, but did have a relief rating, obviously, of 4. So he's got some long relief there. So this is a part of the season where he was in the bullpen versus starting. But he's got to be careful. Runners at the corners, and first and second, and 2 down. Nothing. A 2 means a chance for a balk or a pass ball. Checking for balk. He has no balk, so we move drive on. Jerry Martin, the batter, 5-7 against a right-hander, is a single 2 stars. That'll score AO. That run is charged to Torres, and McRae will go to third. So base hit there, and all of a sudden now it's 7-3 Kansas City. I thought Boston was going to blow Kansas City out, but it seems like Boston can't get anybody out. What's going on here? I'm sure Ralph Houck is wondering the same thing. All right, so now White, he won't try to go anywhere, but he will be held. Nothing on the strat roll. So, Martin won't be held. My bad. White's the one batting. I don't think Martin's definitely not going to go anywhere. Hurst to White, 1-7 is a 1-5 single, but that's an 18, so it's a liner to short, and the inning's over. So they sent 9 to the plate, 4 of them score, and after 2 complete, it's 7-3 Kansas City. And can anybody pitch in this game? We shall see. It's up to Hurst and Wright to try to eat up some innings. Dave Stapleton will be up. Of course, they've got their right-handers in there against the lefty Blue, but now that Wright's in there, I don't know if you want to start subbing guys out this early or not. They'll stick with Stapleton against Wright. 6-6, and that's a double to right field. So Stapleton with a leadoff double, and back come the Red Sox. Here's Glenn Hoffman. Stapleton will not be held at second. Hoffman, 6-4. Ground ball shortstop X. That is Pryor. He's a 4E42. 4-4. That's going to get through for a base hit. E42 and a 7. There is no 7, but a 4 and a 4 is a single 2 stars. And that will score Stapleton. Cuts the lead to 7-4. Back come the Red Sox. Hoffman will not be held. at first base. Or he will be held, but he won't go anywhere. Allenson. 4-8. And that's a single, 1-18. And that's an 11, so it will be a single, 1 star. And that's going to put runners at first and second. First and second, nobody out. Nobody's going to be held now. Rick Miller, the batter. 3-4 for Miller. He flies to left. That's 1 away. And back to the top of the order for Jerry Remy. Tying runs, or tying runs at the plate, I should say. And Jerry Remy. 2-3 for Remy. That's a ground ball, third base B. And so that's going to be a fielder's choice. 5-4. Hoffman will take third. And Remy reaches first on the fielder's choice. 2 down. And Dwight Evans, the batter. Remy will be held. Not going anywhere, though. Evans can tie the game with 1 swing of the bat. Oh, the blue die didn't go through. That was Suidice. Let's try it again. 2-7, and he just missed a home run. 2-8 would have been a home run. 2-7's a strikeout. What a difference one number can make. Red Sox get a run. They could have had a lot more, but instead they still trail at 7-4. And they got to find an answer with their pitching, because Bruce Hurst was no prize in relief either, but definitely Torres. Torres looked like he didn't know what was going on. All right, Greg Pryor, the batter. 2-6 for Pryor, and that's a ground ball to third, 1 away. Brings up Willie Wilson. 3-8 for Wilson, a fly to center. Oh, I'm sorry, I was supposed to be looking off the left side, wasn't I? I was looking off the right side. So what did I do here? It was a 2-6. It was a ground ball to first, not to third for Pryor. And then Wilson off the left side. 3-8 is a strikeout. So got to make sure I go off the blue side now with Hurst in there. I got to remember that. Reading off the blue, not the red. All right, so there's 2 up and 2 down for John Wathan. I guess I was so shocked that Bruce Hurst got somebody out. 4-6, and that's a single. So as soon as I say that, here come the hits again. Has not been a 1-2-3 inning yet, not even close. It's been at least 2 base runners in every half inning. Wathan, let's see if he can get a jump. He needs 2 through 5, 11, or 12. That's a 9, cannot get the jump, so he will stand pat. Here's George Brett. 4-6, lefty on lefty, and that's a single, 2 stars. Brett strokes a single. He is tripled and now singled. Runners are at the corners with 2 down, so the inning started out well for Bruce Hurst. He got 2 quick outs, but now he's in trouble. Brett will be held, but he will not try to go anywhere. 1, chance for a wild pitch. He's got a wild pitch rating of 8. And he just uncorked a wild pitch. That scores the run. Bruce Hurst just threw it in the dirt. Brett will take second, but the run comes in. Watson trots in. It's now 8-4. Another roll, nothing happening. Here's Willie Aikens. 5-6 against the lefty is a fly to center, and that's going to finally end the inning. But yet another run comes in. It's now 8-4 rather, Kansas City. And run explosions all over the place. Thought Hurst would get out of the inning, but just couldn't make it happen. Jim Wright now will be facing Jim Rice. So how about that? Jim Wright pitching to Jim Rice. Interesting little tongue twister there. Rice has homered and walked. 4-9, and he will hit a double. So Jim Rice back on the offense for Boston with a double. He will not be held at second. Here is Tony Perez. Nothing happening there. Perez, 2-10 for Perez. Split chance, 1-5 is a single. That is a 5, so it's a single 1 star. And again, no pitching on either side. Runners at the corners, nobody out. Tony Perez will not be held at first. Infield is back for the double play. Right, 5-3. Ground ball first base X. Since the runner's not being held, we don't lose anything on Willie Aikens, who's a 4. So he won't drop to a 5. He will stay a 4. So it's a 4 E9. 4-19, he will get to that. E9 and a 12. There's no error there. A 4 And a 19 is a G1. So it's actually going to be a double play. 3-6-3. Double play. The run does score for Boston. Cut the lead now to 8-5. But two quick outs. Had he been a 5, that would have been, had he been holding the runner, that would have been a G2 and would not have been a double play. But since they weren't holding the runner, it was a double play. Now with 2 outs and the bases clear, here's Dave Stapleton. 2-9 for Stapleton, and that's a single. He will not be held at first base. Here's Hoffman. As I drop the blue die. Nothing happening there. Hoffman. 4-7, and that's a 1-13 double. Anything else is a single. That's a 10. It's a double, but it's 2 stars. So the runner has to stop at third. So just when you thought the inning was over, here come the Red Sox now with a single and a double. And now Gary Allenson with a chance. He is the tying run. Nothing on that for right. Here is the pitch to Allenson, 4-8. That's a 1-18 single. That's a 12. It's a single 1 star. That'll score a run. Now that's 2 runs for the Red Sox. They cut the lead to 8-6 and have runners on the corners. And Mr. Wright is going to be out of there. Mr. Wright was wrong in this game. He couldn't get anything done either. So they will go to a lefty out of the bullpen, and it will be Grant Jackson to try to get out of this. Grant Jackson is on, and he will be facing Rick Miller, lefty on lefty, with 2 outs and runners at the corners. Gary Allenson, of course, not being held at first. Jackson, 5-4 against the lefty, is a fly ball center field X. That is Amos Otis. He's a 2-E1. 2 and a 12 will get to that. E1 and the 6, I don't believe is any issue whatsoever. You have to have a 17 to make an error on E1. So finally, the inning is over. But the Red Sox score 2, and we go to the bottom of the 4th. It is 8-6. You would think this game was played in Fenway or Colorado with all these runs, but let's see if Bruce Hurst can do anything. If he can't do much better, they're going to pull him too, and they'll go to Louis Aponte or somebody. All right, here is Amos Otis. 4-3 is a fly ball right field X. That's Dwight Evans. Evans is a 1, E11. So we know he's going to get to it with a 1, but checking the E11. That is a 13. E11 and a 13 for an outfielder. E11, and what do you know it? An E11 outfielder, a 13 is a 2-base error. Error number 3 on the Red Sox. 5 errors in the game. And it's odd because the other day in the Cleveland game, the Cleveland had 5 errors by themselves. So it's a lot of errors. Even on the super advanced, it's getting to be a lot of errors. So it's 2-base error on Evans, E9. Can't blame Hurst on that one. That was just bad fielding. Unlike Dewey Evans to have that happen, but it did. Here's Hal McRae. 4-5 against a righty is a fly ball center field, 1 away. Brings up Jerry Martin. AO is being held at second base to keep him close. Hurst, 111 to Martin, and that's a ballpark single check. For Martin, it's a 1-16. That's a 1, so it's a single 1 star. And that will put the runners at the corners with 1 out. And here's Frank White. And do you pull Hurst here in this situation? He's having some issues. I think you're going to pull Bruce Hurst right here and go to Louis Aponte. So Louis Aponte is coming on for the Red Sox, the right-hander, as Hurst is out of there. So right-hander Louis Aponte. That leaves 3 relievers for the Red Sox. Bergmeyer, a lefty, and then 2 righties, Clear and Stanley. Aponte, 2-2 with a 3.18 ERA and 2 saves on the season. He does have a long relief rating. Got a 3 there, so he can go a couple innings. All right, runners at the corners, 1 out. Infield playing for the double play. 1 chance for a wild pitch. Needs a 2, and no wild pitch. It's blocked. Here's the pitch to Frank White. 2-5, and that's a single to right field. It's a clutch, but they're not 2 outs, so the clutch does not take effect. It's just a single to right field. That will score AO. And the Royals grab another run. They now lead it 9-6. And Martin doesn't run all that well, and you're not going to run on Dwight Evans' -5 arm, so he will hold at second base. So runners are at first and second with 1 out for Greg Pryor. And now Aponte can't get anybody out. Nothing on that. Here's pitch to Pryor. He's grounded out twice. 6-9. But he's going to single this time, a single to right. That's going to load the bases. Again, we're not running on Dwight Evans' -5 arm, not with only 1 out. So Martin will hold at third. Frank White will hold at second. Aponte is coming in giving up 2 singles. Bases are now loaded for Willie Wilson. And Wilson is not much of a person to double up, so they're going to play the infield in. They are playing in to Willie Wilson. Nothing there. Pitch to Wilson. 6-9 against a left switch hitter batting left, and that's more trouble for Aponte. 14 is a single 2 stars. So 3 runs this inning for Kansas City as Martin and White score. Pryor goes to third on the single by Willie Wilson. And again, Aponte is coming and giving up 3 consecutive singles. Score is now 11-6. Favor of the Royals. They will hold Wilson on, but I don't think he's going to want to. I don't think they're going to be that aggressive. So here we go. Infield is playing for the double play on Wathan though. 4-5, and that's a ground ball shortstop B, so that will allow the run to score. Had they played the infield in, they would have probably choked that run off, but they were afraid of letting it get through. So it's a fielder's choice. 6-4, but yet another run. Correction Tape City. I guess I should wait till the inning's over to start writing this in, but for Kansas City, they answer the 2 runs by the Red Sox with 4 of their own. They now lead at 12-6. Wathan's the lead runner at first, or the only runner at first. Aponte, nothing happening. Pitch to Brett. 3-6 for Brett. Struck him out finally in the inning. But this has really been something. Willie Wilson, the leadoff man, the top 3 hitters in the Royal lineup have hit in every single inning. That's how bad it's been for the Red Sox. 12-6, your score. Grant Jackson coming back out for another inning of relief. We'll be facing Jerry Remy. Dwight Evans and Jim Rice, top of the order. Been 5 errors in the game as well. 3 by the Sox and 2 by the Royals. Sloppy game all the way around. 5-8. Lefty on lefty. 5-8's a ground ball. Second base X. Frank White's a 1 E20. On a 1, we know he gets to it. E20, he's got to avoid the D6 total of 3, 13, 17, and 18. And that is a 12, so he's good to go on that. 1 away. And that will bring up Dwight Evans. 2-10 for Evans against the lefty. That's a double. So Dewey Evans, his second double of the game. And that'll bring up Jim Rice. He has homered and doubled as well as walked. Evans not being held on, with the score being what it is. Pitch to Rice, 6-5. That's a ground ball shortstop A. That will hold the runner at second. Evans will have to stay there. 2 down for Tony Perez. Nothing happening there. Here's Perez. 6-6 against a righty for Grant Jackson is a walk. Puts runners at first and second for Carney Lansford. Lansford could use a big base hit here. Get the Red Sox back in the game. 4-6. He won't. It's a fly to right to end the inning. And that's it for Grant Jackson. I think he's done. He gets them up through the 5th inning, and they can turn it over to the bullpen, the rest of the bullpen from there, I think. Between Bud Black and Dan Quisenberry. I think they can finish it out between Bud Black and Dan Quisenberry. The rest of I don't know, we might. No, I think they want to let Bud Black and Dan Quisenberry finish it out. Bud Black can go very long relief, so he's good for that. So Bud Black will be coming on to pitch the top of the 6th. Right now, Aponte is still in there as the Red Sox run out of answers on the pitching staff. Aponte to Akins, 4-10. Ground ball to second, so he does get an out there. One away. Here's A.O. Amos Otis. 1-11, and that's a ground ball to second. So 2 consecutive ground balls to second. Could we see a 1-2-3 inning? It would be almost a miracle. 3-7. We do. It's a line out to first. That's going to end the inning. 1-2-3 inning for Aponte. How about that? Throw the confetti if you're a Red Sox fan for that, getting 3 consecutive outs. All right, so the new pitcher for the Royals will be Bud Black, and on the season, he was 4-6, 4.58 ERA, did have 14 starts, obviously did have a relief rating as well, so he's in there to pitch some relief. And they'll be facing Stapleton, Hoffman, and Allenson here in the top of the 6th as the Royals lead 12-6. 1-7 for Stapleton against the lefty, fly to center. One away. Here comes Glenn Hoffman. 4-5, and that's a fly to right, 2 down. Well, tell me when we get pitching all of a sudden on both sides. Gary Allenson, 4-9. Nope, as soon as I say that, it's a base hit. Gary Allenson with a 2-out single. Here is Rick Miller. He's 0 for 3. He's flown out 3 times. Allenson will not be held at first. Pitch to Miller, 2-11, and that's a ground ball to third to end the inning. So we go to the bottom of the 6th, still 12-6. And Aponte back out to face Jerry Martin. It'll be Jerry Martin, Frank White, and Greg Pryor. This will be Aponte's final inning if he can get through it. 4-3 is a fly to left. They'll bring in probably bring in Bergmeyer after this. Here's Frank White. 3-10 for White. He's going to ground to second. So Aponte's now gotten 5 in a row. He's retired 5 in a row. And actually going back here, he's retired 6 in a row. Here's Greg Pryor. So he's going to go out with a bang. Pryor, 5-12. Ground ball first base X at Stapleton. He's a 2, E14. 2-8 should be okay. 2-8 is okay. That is a 15. That might be trouble. E14. Is it? Yeah. No, I'm sorry. E14 and a 15 for a first baseman. E14, and there is no 15, fortunately. So Stapleton will make the play. Flips to Aponte covering to end the inning. So we go to the 7th. Score remains 12-6, and we'll get a new pitcher for the Red Sox, Tom Bergmeyer, in the 7th inning. Royals, though, will still send out Bud Black, as he's going to pitch at least the 7th and probably the 8th, and then maybe turn over to Quisenberry in the 9th, even though it may not be a safe situation. Glenn Hoffman starts the... No, not Glenn Hoffman. What's he doing up there? How do I get them out of order? Jerry Remy starts the top of the 7th off, top of the order, against Bud Black. 2-9 for Remy, and he flies to left. One away. Brings up Dewey Evans. We get a 5-10 against a right-hander, catcher X. That is John Wathen. He's a 3-E5. 3-19 should be a G1. 3-19. Actually, it's a G2, not that it matters. With nobody on base. That's a 12, and he is an E5. And there is no 12, so it's a good play. 2-3 for out number 2. And that brings up Jim Rice. 6-9. 1-3 is a triple. That's a 19. It'll be a single. So now Jim Rice, a triple away from the cycle, but he may not get another at bat to try to get that cycle. He will not be held. Nothing going on there. 2-12 for Perez against the lefty is a ground ball to third to end the inning. 7th inning stretch time we go. And miraculously, we've got a bunch of zeros here in this middle part of the ball game After 12-6 in the first 4 innings, pitching has stabilized. Don't know how, but it has. And now for the Red Sox, they will bring on Tom Bergmeyer, the lefty. He will be on to face Wilson, Wathan, and Brett here in the top of the 7th or bottom of the 7th. Bergmeyer on the season, 7-0, 2.29 ERA and 2 saves. So very good reliever. Not just a lefty specialist, but a very good reliever. And here's Willie Wilson, started off with Bergmeyer on to pitch. Bergmeyer 5-6 against the switch hitter, batting right-handed. 5-6 is a ground ball to short. And that's 1 away. 1 down. And that'll bring up John Wathan. Bergmeyer 2-7 against a lefty for Wathan is a walk. So walk to Wathan. He, of course, with the score being 12-6, he's not going to try to do anything. They will token hold him on. Here's Brett. 4-8. Ground ball, second base X. Second base Remy is a 3 E14. 3 and it rolled to a 3. It's probably going to be a base hit. 3 and a 3. 3 and a 3 is a single 1 star. That's a 12. Remy is a 14. There is no 12, but it is a single 1 star. So runners are now at first and second with 1 out. And now the runner will not be held at second base. Nothing on that roll. Here's Willie Aikens. 4-6 against the lefty is a single to center field. And they will just center fielder for the Miller, but with the 12-6, they're playing station to station. So bases are loaded for AO, Amos Otis. 1 out, bases loaded. Sox looking for the double play. They'll give up a run to get the double play. 2-10 for Otis against the lefty. That's a ballpark single check. That's an 11. Singles are a 1-16, so it's a base hit. Would have been an out without the ballpark effects, but in this case, it's a single 1 star. The run scores. It's now 13-6 Kansas City over Boston, with the bases still loaded and 1 out for Hal McRae. Bergmeyer might not be able to get through the inning. 5-4. Ground ball, third base X. Third baseman Carney Lansford's a 3 E14. 3-20, that would be a double play as long as there's no error. 3-20 is a G1. That's an 8. He is an E14. E14, there is no 8, so it's a 5-4-3 around the horn double play to get him out of the inning. 1 run does score. After 7 complete, it is 13-6 favor of Kansas City. And Bud Black will come out and pitch the 8th. If he runs into any trouble, they will bring in Quisenberry. Carney Lansford to lead it off, and then for the Red Sox, Bergmeyer is done, and Bob Stanley will be coming on to pitch the bottom of the 8th in mop-up duty. It'll be Boston's 5th pitcher. That'll leave them the only pitcher in the bullpen to be marked clear. Only pitcher in the bullpen for Kansas City is Quisenberry. So Bud Black to Lansford. 5-9 against the right-hander Bud Black. And home run chance 1-12. That's a 6. He has normal power. It is gone. Carney Lansford, home run. It is now 13-7 as Boston gets the extra point. Cuts the lead to 13-7. Here's Dave Stapleton. 1-6 for Stapleton. Grounds to short. 1 away. That will send it to Glenn Hoffman. And let's see if the Red Sox might want to go to their bench to try to get some offense. They don't really have a whole lot on the bench, although Reed Nichols is pretty good. They're going to bring in Reed Nichols to hit for Glenn Hoffman. And then Julio Valdez will take over at short. So Reed Nichols is going to pinch hit. He's a much better hitter. He's over 300. On the 82 season, Reed Nichols hit 302. So he's going to hit, whereas Glenn Hoffman was hitting 209. And then in the bottom of the 8th, Julio Valdez will take over at short. So shortstop Valdez, and he's a 4 E22. You're not really worried about that right now. You want offense, so Reed Nichols is in. 2-5, and he gets offense. He singles. So a single for Reed Nichols. He's aboard on the pinch hit single. 2-5, Glenn Hoffman would have struck out, so that was a good move there, I guess, to bring in the pinch hitter. That'll bring up Gary Allenson with the runner at first and 1 out. 1 run in on the homer by Lansford. 4-9, Buddy Black against a right-hander. 4-9, 1-10 is a double, 11-20 is a single. That's a 1. It's a double, 2 stars for Allenson. And here come the Red Sox. And Rick Miller, and once we get to Dwight Evans, we're probably looking at Quisenberry at this point, as Bud Black might be fading to black. Nobody's being held on. Here's Rick Miller. 4-7, and that's a single, 2 stars. That will score 2 more runs. 3 runs are in for the Sox. It's now 13-9. 13-9 is their score. And this is going to be the last batter for Bud Black right here. Jerry Remy is the last one he's going to face. Runner Miller not being held on. 1-6 is a strikeout. So he strikes out Remy for the second out of the inning. That's going to be it. They're going to take Bud Black out and bring in Dan Quisenberry. So Dan Quisenberry is on. I don't believe this would qualify for a save, but I'll do the math real quick and find out. The score is now 12-9. Tying run is on deck, so yes, technically by the rules, it would be a save situation because the tying run is on deck. A horrible rule because on deck hitter has nothing to do with anything. Shouldn't get a save unless you're facing tying run at the plate. I don't get this tying run on the deck stuff, but I don't make the rules. All right, so Quisenberry is on, facing Dewey Evans. Nothing there. His pitch to Evans. 3-8 for Evans. That's a 1-6 single, but that's a 10. So he grounds to second to end the inning. Would have been interesting had they been facing the lefty still. It would have been a single here, but the clutch, he would have been out on the clutch. Actually, no, he wouldn't have because the runner's not in scoring position. So had we left Bud Black in there, that would have been another single. So, oops, I actually put Quisenberry in the wrong spot. Wasn't even thinking. I put him up there with Boston, didn't I? That wasn't too swift. But with a score like this, anything can happen. All right, so 3-8 ends up being a ground ball to second to end the inning. Like I said, it would have been a base hit against a lefty, but 3 runs for Boston. And they now have 9 runs. You would think 9 runs would be enough to win the game. They scored 10 in the actual game, but they only gave up 5. So they're almost on pace to score their 10 runs, but they certainly gave up 12 early and often. So Bob Stanley, your new pitcher, coming in for the Red Sox on the 82 season. He was 13-7, 3.10 ERA and 14 saves. He and Mark Clear kind of split time for closer duties. I didn't know which one to bring in. I just picked one. So Jerry Martin, the batter, will be Martin, White, and Pryor. And the new shortstop is Julio Valdez for the Red Sox. All right, here's Martin. Stanley to Martin. 110, and that's ground ball to second. 1 away. That'll bring up Frank White. 5-5 against Stanley. 1-5 is an in-home run chance. That's a 3. Frank White has normal power against righties. It is gone. Frank White and the Royals kick the extra point and lead it 14-9. As Bob Stanley gives up the gopher ball. Here's Pryor. 3-9. Fly to left, 2 down. And now Willie Wilson with his 6th at-bat. Remy's also had 6 at-bats. Stanley, 1-9 to Wilson, is a ground ball back to the pitcher, Stanley, to end the inning, but a run is in. And it takes us to the top of the 9th with the score, Kansas City 13 and Boston 9. Quisenberry in. And since he came in the previous inning when it was 12-9 with the tying run on deck, he does qualify for a save, assuming he holds the lead. For the Red Sox, it'll be Rice, who does get that chance with a triple he would hit for the cycle, and I've never had a cycle before. So that would be a first. Rice needs a triple to get the cycle. followed by Perez and Lansford. Although you might have Yaz come up and pinch hit for Perez, because Perez hasn't done much. So we're gonna have Rice. We're gonna have Rice called back, and Yaz is gonna pinch hit for Rice. So Yaz will pinch hit for Rice. Yastrzemski. I'm sorry, we'll pinch hit for Perez, not for Rice. So it's Rice, Yastrzemski, and Lansford due up against Quisenberry. Top of the ninth. 3-4 for, oh, it's not Carl Yastrzemski's time yet. It is Jim Rice's time. Got ahead of myself, didn't I? I got ahead of myself. Don't know why I did that. It's actually Jim Rice's at bat. The roll was a 3-4, and he strikes out. So no cycle for Jim Rice. He's out of there. Here's Yastrzemski. Well, that's stacked on top of each other. That doesn't happen very often. That's kind of weird how that happened. So that's considered a suidice. We'll try again. 6-7, and that's a ground ball to first. I'm sorry, ground ball to second. 2 down. 1 out away from ending the ball game. It's Carney Lansford at the last at bat. 2-10 for Carney, and he grounds to second. End the inning, uneventful 9th inning, and Kansas City holds on to win it by the score of 13-9. They lost it in real life 10-5. They win it in this one 13-9. Not even going to bother with the totals because they're ugly, and I don't even want to go there. It'll give me a headache. It's not really important. The important part is that the Royals defeat the Red Sox 13-9. And our next game in the 1982 Game of the Week will be May the 22nd from Hotlanta. The Mike Krukow and the Phillies against Larry McWilliams and the Braves. And that will be the next NBC Game of the Week in Stratomatic 1982. Until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.